I welcome you to our daily celebration. Today, we are celebrating World Healing Day. World Healing Day. World Healing Day is celebrated every last Saturday in the month of April. The last Saturday of April. And today, April 27, happens to be the last Saturday of this month. Today happens to be the last Saturday of this month. And so, we are celebrating World Healing Day. A day set aside to reflect on the importance of healing. A day set aside to reflect not just on physical ailments, but healing that has to do with, in fact, let me use the word holistic healing. We are not just talking about spiritual healing, what those of us who are into healing ministry does. We are looking at holistic healing, both from the physical perspective, the physicians, psychological perspective, and of course, the spiritual perspective. We are not going to rule out the spiritual perspective. We are looking at the physical healing, psychological healing, and generally spiritual healing. That is healing of the whole body, mind, and soul. So this topic is broad, what we are celebrating today, and I want to thank God for those who set aside this day to reflect on healing, because healing is one thing that we take for granted, and we forget that health is wealth. A healthy man is a wealthy man. If you are healthy, that means you are wealthy. You may have money, but if you don't have good health, will you enjoy your money? You may have properties, you may have food, but if you don't have good health, will you enjoy your food? Will you enjoy your properties? Now you see the reason why I said health is wealth. A healthy mind is a wealthy mind. A healthy person is a wealthy person. So, my dear friends in Christ, today, what we are going to be focusing on, the general topic, the general theme today is natural healing can lead to better health outcomes. Natural healing. So what we are celebrating today, or what World Healing Day is all about, they emphasize on natural remedies. And natural healing is the best form of healing. Let me use the word prevention is better than cure. There are things you can do to help yourself. There are things you can do to prevent sickness. For instance, taking a lot of fluid, water. Water therapy has been proven to be the best form of healing remedy. Water therapy. Drinking water, first thing, the last thing before you sleep, and the first thing when you wake up. Before you take anything into your stomach, you take water. It helps for digestion, of course, you know that, but it flushes your system of any particles that may result to sickness. So water therapy, natural remedy now, is one of the best thing you can do for yourself, and it is affordable. All you need is discipline. Wake up in the morning. Before you take anything, you take your water. Could be a glass, could be 2 glasses, depending on how much you can take. And before you sleep, you take some water. Then, apart from water, fruits. Fruits is highly recommended. For you to stay healthy, you need to take good fruits. I'm not a dietitian, so there are so many other things you would have, or I would have shared with you. I don't want to presume to be a dietitian or a physician, but the ones I know, I will share with you. Other ones you can browse on the kind of food, like diets that are good for your health. You can browse them to remain healthy. But talking about healing generally, especially when we talk about holistic healing, I want to use this medium to let you know that most of us presume to know it all or to have it all. And that's why we don't have this culture of referring people. There are cases you may bring to us who are into healing ministry. Which is not even in our field. It's not everything we that are into healing ministry can handle. Take for instance, I cannot deliver a baby. I wasn't trained for that. I'm not a gynecologist. I'm just giving that as an example. And then there are some sickness. After praying for people, we should encourage them to go and see their doctors for perfection. Jesus did it. He was the one that brought Lazarus back to life in John chapter 11. Lazarus came out, and Lazarus actually came out, but Lazarus was still bound. He was not the one that unbound him. He gave order, loose him and let him go. Loose him, let him go. So those of us who are into healing ministry, we should know our boundary. It's not everything that we can. When you have prayed for people, I advise my members, when I have prayed for you and you are still having the pains or the symptom, then it is time for you to go and see your doctor. I have done my part. I have played my part. So for you to have a holistic healing, okay? So we should not presume to do everything. There is division of labor. God is the one that gave doctors their gift. We are all working for the same goal. The best interest of the person. Whatever we can do to save life. Because if you go to most healing centers, you will see people being dumped. And people are dying. People are dying. Most healing centers have become a dead zone where people's life are just, go to hyper homes. You will see a lot of people being dumped here. And it's not even hygienic enough. Some people who have broken, fractured home, I know that we have local herbalists who take care of the bone, but the government should also look into that area, because they are not hygienic at all. Most people have gotten infection, and at the end of the day, their legs will be amputated. Whereas there are cases that would have been managed when detected on time. So we all must work together. Both the medical practitioners and the medical practitioners should be humble enough to recognize the fact that it's not every MS are physical MS. There are some MS that have spiritual causes. Are you aware of that? There are some sicknesses that are caused spiritually, even psychologically. And somebody comes to you, you have carried out all the tests, and the person is still complaining. That is the time for you to recommend spiritual remedy. Refer. Don't dump the person there for the person to die. What do you get? People keep dying in your hospital. The moment you have carried out, if you're a medical doctor, you have carried out all the necessary tests and you discover that the person is okay, recommend spiritual. Go and see your spiritual director. It doesn't remove anything. It doesn't reduce your respect. It doesn't reduce your customer. The most important thing is life is being saved. Psychologists, physicians, by physician I mean medical doctors, spiritual, those who are into, they have to work together. And we should know our boundary. As I told you, there are cases after praying for the person, I personally will tell the person, you need to go to hospital. The young man I empowered last Sunday, I gave some money. I was the one that asked him, take your wife to the hospital. Because I have done my work by praying for her. I conducted deliverance for her. And I discovered that the case was still, as I recommended, take her to the hospital. Let the doctors do their own work. So I assisted him with some money, with some cash. Okay? So we should not claim to know it all or to have it all. A tree can never make a forest. A tree cannot make a forest. whatever we are doing should be to the best interest of the sick person. If you have the best interest of the sick person, you should forget your ego. Who says that a man of God cannot fail? We are not perfect. It is only God that is perfect. But you see, you are watching television of some churches. When rise up and walk, and when the sick person is not rising, stay tuned. They don't want to see some of the funny things that happen. You are playing God. It's not every sick person that you can heal. Even, I'm telling you out of experience, I am into healing ministry. It's not everybody I prayed for receives their healing. There are people that God destined that I will be the one to heal them. When they come, instantly, you will see them. They will receive their healing. But there are people that all I need to do is to pray for them, deliver them, and then I will now recommend that they should see their doctors for holistic healing. Now, let me use the rest of the time to talk about different types of healing. Because when we talk about holistic healing, what do we mean? Which areas do we really need healing? And which areas do we really need help? Now, in sickness, we have sickness that are caused. Physical MS, the one you know. The physical MS are those ones that can easily be detected in the lab. When you go to the lab, ultrasound, you can easily detect. And it's very easy for the physicians to handle. Problem known is problem solved. Every good doctor must carry out lab tests before treatment. So those illnesses that are easily detected through lab tests, they are what we call physical MS. And those physical MS requires physicians. That's why we call physicians physical MS. They are the ones that handles that. You need physical physicians to treat you. Okay, when the sickness has been detected, it's very easy. They know what to do. The doctors that are trained for that, they will give you the necessary treatment, the necessary drugs, and you'll be fine. Physical MS. Now we have psychological sickness. Those sickness that are caused by depression, frustration. You know, we have a lot of psychological sickness. In fact, let me not exaggerate. 90% of people you see out there have psychological sickness. 90%. And when we talk about psychological sickness, it has to do with our feeling. More people are being hurt every day. Feeling. When people hurt you and you feel hurt deeply, psychologically you are sick. You may not talk about it. Hurt. Inner hurt. There is emotional sickness, which is also related to psychological sickness. Emotional, when you are feeling lonely. Emotional sickness, when you feel rejected. Emotional sickness, when you feel isolated. When you feel misunderstood. It can lead to emotional sickness. And we have mental illness. That is the illness of the mind. Mental illness, when the mind is sick, That is when your reasoning, you don't coordinate your reasoning. When you start forgetting things, your memory, you can't remember things. Suspect mental illness. Your memory. And if you allow it to linger, if you don't get remedy or assistance, it can result to mental disorder. Mental disorder, you now end up in psychiatric home. So, you need to feel, for you to feel healthy, you need to flourish in an environment where you are accepted. You need to flourish in an environment where there is love. You need to flourish in an environment where there is acceptance, where you feel loved. To deal with your emotional sickness, you need care from people around you. It's not something, psychological sickness does not need medication. At times, counseling may help, but the best remedy for emotional sickness is for you to have people who understand you. And unfortunately, the culture where we are, when you are complaining, for instance, you are telling people, let me go into deeper, you start talking about hallucination. You are hearing voices, you are seeing things that others are not seeing. Hallucination, for instance. And nobody is there to understand you. My dear, it can result to more problem. The most important thing, people who have this mental sickness, that is understanding. Listen to them. Don't argue with them. If somebody tells you, I am hearing strange voices, I am seeing strange things, the solution to it is not to argue with them. You worsen their case. They know what they are saying. They know what they are feeling. Is to listen to them empathetically. So that is the only remedy. They need someone who understands. When I was running mental rehabilitation center, I had a mental rehabilitation center. Most of them, about 60% of them that got their healing was through interaction. And I remember a case of a lady that said, Father, you are the only one that have listened to me. You are the only one that understand what I'm passing through. You know what that means? To feel understood. And when you listen to people, you listen to them empathetically. You put yourself in their shoe. Don't listen to condemn. Don't listen to correct. Don't listen to judge. Listen to understand. Listen to empathize with the person. Just put yourself, feel what the person is feeling. Some people, that is all they need. Someone to talk to, someone who understands, someone who is there for them. And this is what we lack in our society, because people are so busy. Parents are even so busy for their children. Most children are suffering what I'm saying now, because early in the morning you leave the house, you want to go and catch up with your work, you come back late, you are tired, you go to bed. These children, they need you. You need to play with them. You need to interact with them. So the world, the more we are getting into, all kinds of things, with even you, workaholic, you need time. Human beings are social beings, social animal. Are you aware of that? We are social animal. You need time to recreate. You need time to socialize. You need time to also interact with people. Now, we are talking about psychological and emotional illness. From there, we went to mental illness. We talked about mental disorder. When it gets to mental disorder, my dear, you have nothing to do than to take the person, because the person will become either withdrawn or become violent. You have no option than to take the person to the psychiatric home. But before then, there is one aspect that people are taking for granted, and that is the spiritual sickness, spiritual MS. It's not like here in Nigeria. Here in Nigeria, in fact, we go to the extreme. Everything is spiritual. Everything in Nigeria or in Africa is spiritual. We give everything here spiritual interpretation. Unlike the Western world, they themselves, they are the ones that need this. They don't believe in the spiritual sickness. They only believe physical or psychological. And that's why they pay a lot of money for counselors. Okay? Everything, it can either be interpreted physically. If it cannot be interpreted, then they will look for psychologists. Before you know it, mental home. That is the Western world. But spiritual part of it, we African, because we are religious people, we so much believe that there are spiritual causes of sickness. Sickness, there are some sickness, and it is true. You don't need to doubt it. What you call melancholy, what you call hallucination, we have delivered people from it. Spiritually, so many people are suffering today because of strange voices, or maybe things they see in their dream. Attack when you start raising. Those are spiritual causes. It's not psychological yet. When people start seeing things in the dream, start receiving attack in their dream, they need deliverance. What they need is deliverance. And it is working. It has worked and it's working. So, for you to get a holistic healing, when you have tried the physical, it didn't work, try psychological, it didn't work, recommend them for deliverance. Recommend them. And you will be amazed. When they go through that deliverance, they will be okay. We have recorded a lot of success in that area. So, please, my passionate appeal as we celebrate this year's World Healing Day, whether you are a physician, you are in a hospital, you are a psychologist, you are working in a clinical, or you are a spiritual healer, you are into healing ministry. We all have to work together for the best interest of that person. Whatever we can do to save life, please let us save life. We should humble ourselves. Recommend, refer when it is time for you to refer. Do your part. When you have played your role, refer. Don't delay. It's highly recommended. Thank God I don't have where I keep sick people. I don't have where I keep sick people. So that takes care of that aspect. When I have prayed for you and the sickness is there, I say go and see your doctor. And I'm encouraging all those who are into healing ministry, please stop joking with people's life. Don't take risk. If you are not trained as a medical doctor, refer. And if you must keep people in your healing center, make sure there is a trained medical doctor to handle their cases. to carry out the necessary tests when needed. So I want to once again thank you for joining us in today's celebration. Remember, it is World Healing Day. Take care of yourself. Whatever you can do, the best doctor in the world is you. You are the best doctor of yourself. You know how you are feeling. You know what you are suffering from. And you can help yourself. Remember, heaven help those who help themselves. When you die, nobody will blame the doctor. Even if they blame the doctor, it will not bring you back to life. So you cannot be suffering from stomach ache and you are complaining headache. Most of you do that. So help yourself. Natural remedies, whatever you can do, all these natural remedies I have mentioned, water therapy, taking of fruits, rest, very, very important. Why am I doing all that I'm doing? Because I don't joke with my sleep. And when I work, I'm tired. The next thing, even during the day, whenever the sleep knock at my door, I'll go and put my head on the pillow. And you see me snoring. So don't joke with your rest. Make sure you rest. All these workaholics that are in America, take note of this. Rest. Rest and rest. Rest your brain. Even your car engine. At times you add water to it to cool down. At times you need to cool your brain. Okay? So take holiday, go and socialize with your family members, go out, catch fun, natural remedies. Don't work yourself to death. Okay? Those ones you can do for yourself. Rest, water therapies, and then of course fruits. Take enough fruits. So as you do that, may God grant you healing, and may God bless the rest of your day. I wish you happy World Healing Day.